Hello everybody, today I'm going to do a 75 subscriber video celebrating, I guess I do now have 78, and maybe even this video will get me up to 79. I just want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you're getting something out of this. I'm over at the smaller single urban lot property where I've used a lot of wood chips to sheet mulch, and I've used wood chips from either trimming down trees, like I have a maple and another tree in the back that I had trimmed down or topped, and I used those wood chips. And also I asked a local arborist to bring by a bunch of wood chips, and they dropped off, I don't know, 10 dump truck loads. So we're using that to build soil in the center of the property, and then around the edge I've used sheet mulching to make garden beds to plant out perennials, like fruit trees. I have four pear trees here, some annual or perennial veggies, and a lot of other bushes like hascap, elderberry, a bunch of strawberries, and I have comfrey, and all sorts of other goodies. So I'm just coming over here for the first time after 2 weeks, so you can see what it looks like when it's not, before I mow it, and what it looks like later in September. So a lot of these plants are planted here for the first year, but they're averaging about 3 years old right now, except for the comfrey, which I just planted. But so I'll turn the camera around and let you see what is going on here. So right off the bat here, you can see that this comfrey on the edge has really come on. It's probably the best comfrey plant I've seen in my entire life. It's incredibly dark and huge. There's another one there, and then there's another one. I thought I'd planted something there, but maybe I have not. That's just a random, I'm not sure what that plant is. It could be edible, I don't know. But this is just something that I just let grow, since it was growing so well, and we put down so much organic material. And then of course the rest of the comfrey. This little guy is struggling a little bit, but he'll be alright. And I wanted to make this a complete wall, but if this ends up being a pathway, that would be cool. All this under here is all gravel from where the house used to be. So there's about 18 inches of wood chips, and then a foot of topsoil that they dumped on over rock and whatever else that was in the basement. And then I have random stuff like this. I just let it grow, because it's really hard to kill some of this stuff and just takes so much time. But these will be flowering here pretty soon. I bet it'll look pretty amazing. One of the things I did want to look at was to see how, look at using the pathway already. This is one of my pear trees. It's doing extremely well. I expect to have some fruit on these. I'm not sure if I'll be pruning them. I'll probably wait until next year to prune them. I just don't want to disturb them since they're growing so well. I think I could probably wait until next fall to prune them if I wanted to. Then here we have, I'm looking for random tomato plants, if you're wondering what I'm looking for. I'm not gonna go too far in depth talking about arugula and random flowers that are just coming up. Not sure what this is, because I've spread a lot of random seeds, and I've also bought plants from my local soil and water district. They do a plant sale every year. Look at this, look at all these tomatoes. Awesome. Looks like I'm going to be taking some home with me. This was from a random, I just randomly planted seeds. Yeah, look at that. Cool. Left it all alone, and yeah, I'll come by and grab all these up. Probably grab all the red ones. Because at my house, at my other property, I have a lot of animals. Even for an urban lot, I have a lot of squirrels and groundhogs and stuff like that. So tomato plants are really hard for, anything is really hard to grow until I get a fence around the stuff. But yeah, that's just a random Probably put 3 seeds in this little hole here. And all that came up, and I haven't. Anyways, so back to kind of giving an idea of what all this is. So I planted out some of those plants that I told you, like bergamot and other natives. And I've also added berry bushes throughout. So like right here, here is a Viking aronia berry. There's another one right there. And I have cucumbers, or zucchini actually, from random plantings. And you can see that's already spreading over to there, which is really cool. Then I have a currant. There's a dead gooseberry straight ahead. And it's hard to pick out everything that's been planted in here, but just to give you a general idea, I have videos that specifically go into the planting of these things. Like here's another hascap. Now I'll go into the actual planting of these and what's underneath, because underneath all these beds, this one and this long one, we used regular cardboard, ripped all the tape off, and then we covered it in wood chips and just started throwing seeds, planting bushes, and of course another peach tree or pear tree. And some of this stuff we just have random, like these are white pineberry strawberries. There's another one right there, and then that one that's struggling. And then as we go down here, planted out some sunchokes, and see all those popping up. Super happy. We have more hascaps here. These are blue palm honeyberry, or hascaps. And we kind of alternated asparagus, everbearing strawberries. You can tell they're everbearing because how they just bunched up here. They're not sending off runners, which means that they're everbearing. Then we have an elderberry and some random brassica that I planted. I'm guessing cabbage at this point. Random palm or maple tree that's popped up. And more asparagus, along with plantain that jumps up. We get a lot of plantain here. More strawberries, and then an elderberry. Then in the very front, what I tried to do was, I wanted a place, so I made these 2 little beds, and I wanted to get some sort of a visual block. So I got these pine trees, put 3 in each spot. You can see here, 1, 2, and the third one, they weren't all the same size. And this one might actually be getting shaded out by a gigantic comfrey, so I might cut this back. But you can see there's strawberries down there too. But the idea was, here in the next couple of years, these 3, and then those 3 will kind of be blocking a lot of the view from the road, as well as when that tree gets up and these bushes get bigger, just to make it look more full and make it seem like it's more dense and there's more space inside. It'd be cool to walk around these paths and kind of go in a circle and end up eventually going here and all of that. But yeah, you can see another zucchini right there. Look at that, and a pathway. Yep, we got one. And this is just from a random seed that I'd put, and I've had to mow around it. But yeah, it's kind of nice to have some, because everything I planted by my house pretty much got eaten up. So that would be cool to plant a little random stuff over here and see if we get some last minute vegetables. But yeah, and I'll probably leave it here, and then in the I think in the next video, sorry, in the next video, I'm looking at cover crops and ways to add diversity to my yard, which is another property on the other side of town. But I'm thinking about adding a couple of different cover crops and some other vegetables that would be used to add some benefit to the soil, like radishes and stuff like that. If you've ever heard of tiller radish or anything like that, daikon radish. I was thinking about, there's some rockier areas in my yard that I'd like to add some biomass to, and I might actually plant those to do that. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. I think I have watermelons here, and I do believe, I mean, I've never grown watermelons, but it looks like those are watermelons. I don't know if they're gonna, I mean, it's middle of September. I don't know if I put these seeds in, I think the first week of May, the second week of May, but I hadn't even seen them growing. And if anybody knows if these are watermelon or whatever they are, they're flowering and they look to be getting pollinated, so that'd be really cool if we could get something from that. But yeah, in the next video I gotta do some research and maybe buy some seeds, but planting clover, and I'll probably randomly sprinkle more clover in here too, just to get this is all mostly grass and thistle that comes through in here, and just add diversity and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and please let me know in the comments if there's any of these areas, like perhaps this one that has 17 different plants and randomness in there, if you'd like me to describe what all is in there. I think those are loganberries, but I'd have to dig down and look at the stick with the name on it. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye. Yep, of course, you have to give you a little bonus footage of some comfrey. You see, I did this around the ends where I'm gonna mow over the leaves of it anyways, because it would end up coming over, and I've used that just to cover up the soil, so the wood chips in these two front, oh, if I don't fall over, in the front two areas aren't as thick, so I like to use that comfrey at least somewhat to cover up some of the soil, at least some of the wood chips, whatever. Kind of keep as you can see, that's why this grass is here. It actually starts like right here, but that's still wood chips there. So hopefully we can kind of control that, but that's one of the reasons why I planted all this comfrey, was to get this much biomass. And I could even trim this down a little bit more too. Nah, that's all right. So you can see, just want to trim some of that stuff down and add that material. Earlier in the year, I might actually add more to this area, just kind of cover up all the wood chips. And this stuff will still regrow. There's still 2 months of growing left probably in Indiana. So I'll probably grab a few more leaves and cover up that area. But I am done recording, so I'm gonna do that, run home and post this, and that's it. All right, thanks again. Bye-bye.